Okay, this is going to be real quick, hopefully, for a buddy of mine that plays the Division with me. He was playing Underground, and I built a set of stuff a long time ago to counteract the problems that I had in the Underground, mainly getting on fire. There's a lot of effects that occur that can damage you. Bleed, when that used to be one of the directive problems. I could counter all that with a few items. Number one, I found Rehabilitated to be one of the best things for how I play. This is, once again, not the optimal way to do things. This is not the meta. This is not how you should do it. This is how I do it. And this is tips based on me hitting my level 40 a long time ago. There's my blind gear on and everything. But Rehabilitated heals 2% every second during status effects. So that means fire, tear gas, bleed effects, getting shocked, whatever you name it, it does it. So this helps to keep me alive, and there's a little trick to it as well. Let's say you don't have a med kit or you need a quick heal. Guess what? Go look for some fire, tear gas. Tear gas is one of the best ones because it doesn't really hurt you that much. It kind of messes with your UI a little bit, but whatever. You can shoot through that without a problem. So yeah, I highly recommend Rehabilitated if you have issues with lots of environmental effects. You can also hit a fire extinguisher in order to prep yourself by having continual healing. You don't want to put on anything that lowers the amount of time that you're affected by the things, though, because that will then basically the all resistance will lower the amount of time that you're affected by stuff, and that would mean that you're not getting your health back. So it's kind of a neat thing too. If you don't have any medikits, you can also drop a tear gas grenade on yourself and you can then receive some healing. There's a lot of fun ways to do things in the Division that you have to learn and think for yourself, not just follow the meta stuff that's out there. Otherwise, you will not know how to play very well, but you will know how to do one thing very well, which is fine, I suppose. Anyways, do what you want. Don't listen to me. Next, we have Vigorous, grants overhealing to all healing skills, basically giving you a little bit of a shield based on health. And you can tweak this stuff as you need for yourself. I have ammo capacity because I run with a couple of weapons, the Tommy gun and the Showstopper, which require a lot of ammo. But you, once again, you tweak this stuff as you feel you need to. I try to go also a lot of health on kill if possible. I don't think this piece has it on there, but basically, yeah, this will give you your overhealing, and you want to get the highest possible armor you can possibly find. So constantly look for a new version of it if you can. That way, because this is a number you can't really affect initially, you can optimize it later on, which is fun, but it also takes a lot of Division tech. There you go. Okay, next piece, and I love this piece. Is one of my favorite pieces. I highly recommend it to everybody. I just got a new one. Armor 993 is the Nimble Holster. After completing a cover-to-cover move in combat, you heal 2% of your maximum health over 4 seconds for every 1 meter run. I have been using this for time out of mind. I love this piece. I use it everywhere I can that doesn't have a set piece. I will not use certain sets because I want to run Nimble and this. It's just one of my favorite things. If you're in cover-to-cover combat, especially in the underground where everything's really tight, it's very close quarters, you can get a quick heal by using Nimble going cover-to-cover. So these three pieces are my faves. I also supplement it with, it doesn't have to be classified, but Nomad. Nomad will give me, with the three-piece, I get 15% extra health on kill, but I also get a small constant amount of healing, allowing the user to regenerate all segments of the health bar during combat. If you want to get that fourth piece, you can then, instead of putting on a Vigorous chest, you can put on a Vest of the Nomad, which will unlock your fourth set bonus, which is when receiving fatal damage, you are instantly healed for full health. This can occur once every 4 minutes. And if you have the classified, then you're probably not looking at this video anyways. But yeah, that will be a great substitute. In fact, I believe I started using that over the Vigorous. And I say I believe because I haven't run this setup in a while because of the other setups that I have. But I used to use this a lot, especially because you can buy classified gear chests for Phoenix credits and hopefully get your Nomad set if you really need it. There are other things that you can use instead of this. This is just, I'm a survival guy. I survive. Survival can come in a number of ways. You can survive through brute force and high firepower. I actually do have a decent firearm, 7,000. Stamina's okay at 4285, and my electronics is 3888. You can tweak that however you want. Let's look at the other parts of the things that I use. I often use the flame turret crowd controller. It's a crowd controller, plain and simple. It's another target on the battlefield, and it's a crowd controller. That's it. Secondarily, I often use not immunizer. I just was happening to using it right now because I had the shock ammo on. But I tend to also use ammo cache because the amount of bullets that I shoot with the Tommy gun and the showstopper, I often find ammo cache is one of my favorites. But you can use any of these depending on how if you fall down a lot, go for it. Revival station, perfect, wonderful. Immunizer, if you know, but see, the problem with the immunizer is I want to be affected by things like bleed and tear gas and fire even. So I don't really run immunizer unless I have shock ammo directive affecting me. Other things that I use instead of that, I like to use Seeker Mine. But I like to use it with the gas charge because I like to kill the enemies myself. I don't like the stuff doing it for me. I'm a very hands-on, close personal. Hence the Tommy gun and the showstopper that I have. I really like that. Or I like to use Airburst, which is the incendiary explosives. And you can pair that stuff together, of course, with your talents. Let's say if you're using fire, you can use wildfire to have it spread to other people. Or if you're using Airburst that gives bleed, I believe it's this one. Wait. There's something that, here it is, right here. Shrapnel. Bleed affects other targets in 10-meter radius. I personally am running right now Critical Save, which is a medkit. Use a medkit for damage resistance by 20% for 10 seconds when you're low. But I also have when you reach low health, active skill cooldowns are decreased by 20%, which is awesome. I also use a cover-to-cover move to increase weapon damage. It really helps out a lot. And then I also use on the move because I'm quite often on the move. You can actually pair, if you want to do a lot of cover-to-cover, tactical advance. I'm sure you know this with evasive action, which does cover-to-cover move incoming damage is reduced by 30%. Hell, there's even a holster, I believe, that you can get that will lower incoming damage based on, it's either that or knee pads, based on the amount of damage that you're taking while you're moving cover-to-cover. But that's pretty much it. That's the gist of the things that I run. Hope that helped out. But primary things to take away, rehabilitated, nimble. Those two pieces. Play with them. And that's about it. Oh, yeah, real quick, I guess I can show you real quick. Since I'm up close a lot, damage increased by 10% when closer than 10 meters. Critical hits with this weapon heal the user for 3% of damage dealt. I do that. It's quite often that I'm very much up in the front, so that's what I use this for. These talents. Damage increased by 10% when closer than 10 meters, and weapon damage increased by 10% for 15 seconds after using a skill. Once again, I'm often up in the front, so this makes sense that I have these things, and sometimes if I don't use those talents over there, let's say I'm on the top level, I will use something like Pulse, or maybe, Overdose. I know the booster shot's the thing that most people would run and all that, but I like using a little bit heavier booster shot on or the Overdose for health. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you later. Hope that helped a little bit to generate different ideas other than standard meta.